It's sad because this is, the number one pick a couple of years ago, and it's not like when he has played, he has been anything other than devastating. He is a great player. He is a great player. We have talked over the course of the past couple of weeks about Zion Williamson, the weirdness of the story of his injury, the fact that we didn't even know he had surgery, which is very, very uncommon for a star of his fame. And so then we find out he had surgery, and then they say he's going to be ready. And then as of earlier in the week, we talked about Willie Green coming out and saying he's going to get scans in a couple of days, and he hadn't started running yet. But after the scans, we'll figure it out. And then the story comes out yesterday. Foot injury is going to keep Zion Williamson sidelined for the start of the season. It says a right foot injury that required offseason surgery. Got scans on Wednesday and said they were very encouraged by the healing, but that there was no timetable. All right, Kev, what do you make of the story that has dropped this week about one of the young rising stars in the NBA?
Same thing as it's been really since we first heard about it, Chris. Disappointing, sad, and also very clearly trying to sell tickets. Still, no timeline ultimately. They're going to play it cautiously here with Zion Williamson. They're not going to rush him back no matter how optimistic those scans are. He looks a bit heavy right now. Needs to get in game shape in addition to recovering from the surgery and letting that heal. They're just not going to put him on the floor until he is what they believe is 100%. So, for the Pelicans here, a team that wants to get into the play-in tournament, for a team that wants to, break through and take that leap, like you guys in Memphis, you are in that similar spot. Like you want to break through. That's what New Orleans fans feel. Like, who steps up without Zion? Does Brandon Ingram get off to an unbelievable start to the season? Like, is Devontae Graham? Does he, with opportunity, elevate his play and show what he couldn't do in the past? Is he a better at-rim finisher? Is he more than a shooter? Can someone like Trey Murphy pop and look like a first-team all-rookie guy? Like, can anybody step up on the Pelicans? Is what I'm watching for early in the year with this team.
This is what I'm going to tell you, because obviously I was around him for the last couple of years, and I am aware that he is in the last year of his contract. For people that play fantasy basketball, for people that are concerned about numbers, it's Valanciunas, Kevin. Watch the numbers that he puts up this year with Zion out of the lineup. I bet they're freaky. That's what I would bank on. Contract year, and now who else is grabbing? He grabbed every rebound anyway last year when he was playing for Memphis. The numbers that guy puts up this year could be significant. He was top 5 in the NBA in rebounding last year, and he scored a ton of points, but they're going to have to play minutes. And that's the guy that I would think the numbers would increase greatly. And obviously Ingram's numbers have been very good when Zion hasn't been there. Very good. They were very good last year when he wasn't there. But here's the thing. What were you talking about September 27th then, if you're David Griffin? What was that? Because that was media day, okay? That's a few weeks ago. And he said he had injured his foot prior to Summer League in the early part of the offseason, but added at the time, quote, his timeline should get him back on the court in time for the regular season. Now we are a few weeks later, and he says, obviously, 2 to 2.5 weeks from now means he will not be on the floor for the first week of games. When he is able to return safely, we will do that.
Sounds like a politician. I'm used to that in politics, right?
What are we talking about? Right? Because then you got to get in shape. Then you got to start playing
for this. No, I'm actually going to do that. That's what that sounds like to me.
Well, then you got to start playing with contact. Then you got to start. The shape thing is the big thing, right? I don't know if it was angles. I don't know if it was bad lighting. Whatever.
You think he just didn't turn and, angle his body at the proper angle for him to look leaner and more muscular like he did at media day as a rookie?
The side by side,
angles and the lighting.
The side by side of the two media day pictures,
rookie year and this year,
it's startling.
Yeah,
it's like a reverse before and after.
It's like me.
No, it's not. It's like
I was probably about 15, 20 pounds lighter in 2018 than I am right now.
You never had that vein running through your bicep. I promise you that.
That's true. That's true. I've never been able to see like veins when I flex.
He had it was crazy to look at the 19 picture. He had like real like vascularity, and you've got to be lean to pull that off.
Oh, totally.
And let's just say there was no vascularity in the new picture.
No. He's got to get in game shape. He's got to stay healthy. I mean, like, there's so many questions here with him. This is why on Tuesday's show or last week, whenever it was, I just feel bad for Pelicans fans. Like, there's so much talent. There's so much reason on this team to feel hope. Yep. There is. There's so many reasons. Like from Zion to Ingram to Murphy, who I absolutely love, to like the flashes you've seen from Kira Lewis, to how rock solid Josh Hart is, and Valanciunas being the vet he is. You're talking about, Chris. But then this.
They kind of cleared the way for Nikhil too, and I'm a big Nikhil believer.
Me too. I'm a fan of him as well. Yeah, without the vets in the way, he could get some serious opportunity.
Yeah, and right, especially with Lonzo. I mean, you'd imagine with Lonzo and Bledsoe, those two guys. Now, Nikhil Alexander-Walker is going to get his opportunity.
Like Satoransky is going to provide some veteran, a veteran presence on that team, but he's not going to block minutes necessarily. Like, they have a good balance on the team on paper. It's just you get this with Zion. That's just
and here's the biggest thing. It's your leading scorer. It's your best player. It's the most important player on your team. It's the most important player in your franchise. And whenever the time comes that he is in shape and you can put him back on the court, we have seen this happen with a lot of guys. It is not an easy transition to just plug in somebody that has that level of usage and that you're counting on. You plugging in your best guy into a team that has already gotten used to playing with each other one way. They've gone through training camp. They went through the preseason. They've gone through X number of regular season games. And then you're going to say, all right, now we're going to plug in the guy that averages over 25 points a game, averages double-digit rebounds. First time he's playing with a center that's like Valanciunas instead of a role-playing center. First time he's playing without Alonzo and some of the guys that he's been used to playing with. The guards it's going to be a different rotation. And now you've got to just plug that in. And whatever way you played without Zion is simply not even close to the way you will play when he is part of your roster and part of your lineup. It's just impossible. He's not a role player. He's not a plug and play guy. Role players, they get injured, you plug in another role player, they come back, and all of a sudden things keep on cracking. But once you get used to playing one way and then say, okay, and now here's your best player, that's tough. That's tough.
It could be another lost season.
Well, and this is an important one.
Chris.
And it's an important one. Because it's, this is going to be extension time after this season, one way or the other. And so it's sad because this is, the number one pick a couple of years ago, and it's not like when he has played, he has been anything other than devastating. He is a great player. He is a great player.
And that's why, despite all of what we're talking about right here and all the concerns and all the worries and all the frustrations, he's still in a Pelicans uniform. And he's still this guy who, in only the first few years of his career, was already a dominant force, despite all the injuries, despite all the absences, despite all the challenges of reintegrating him into the lineup. As you're saying, he was still a dominant force who got better from year one to year two, got way better. And he could get better again in year three, despite everything we're saying. It's just you're still having to deal with all of that with a guy who's around 300 pounds and has a significant injury history, and it's scary.